President Buhari attends Guinea-Bissau 47th independence anniversary, reaffirms Nigeria's continued support and assistance to the republic. Nigeria and the People's Republic of Bangladesh commit to greater cooperation in the area of agriculture. Israel tightens second nationwide lockdown as Poland and Netherlands report rise in coronavirus cases. Thank you so much for joining us. We now begin with the President's visit to Guinea-Bissau. President Muhammadu Buhari has reaffirmed Nigeria's continued support and assistance to the Republic of Guinea-Bissau towards sustaining peace, stability and democratic governance. Addressing a large gathering of participants who converged on the capital Bissau to celebrate the country's 47th independence anniversary, the President emphasized that a peaceful and prosperous Guinea-Bissau is a win for West Africa and the entire continent. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
It was a highly befitting reception for President Muhammadu Buhari as he arrived Osvaldo Vieira International Airport, Bissau, on his first visit to Guinea-Bissau since coming to power. President Umaru Sissoco Embalo was at the head of the welcoming party. President Buhari and his host later joined their counterparts from Senegal, Burkina Faso and Mauritania at the National Stadium Alto Badim to commemorate the 47th independence anniversary of the West African country. The event was not only historic and remarkable, but indeed momentous for a country of less than 2 million people that experienced 9 coups or attempted coups and until now embroiled in serious socio-political conflicts. The incumbent president, Embalo, is therefore seen as a symbol of hope for a united, stable and prosperous nation. Speaking at the event, President Muhammadu Buhari said he is indeed proud of the support Nigeria provided towards entrenching democracy in Guinea-Bissau. This support, he said, can only be increased under his tenure.
I congratulate you and good people of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau on your Independence Day celebration and express my wish for greater achievement in the years ahead. It is my sincere prayer that your country will continue on the path of national cohesion, growth and unity.
The president used the opportunity to reflect on the excellent relations between Nigeria and Guinea-Bissau, promising to work more closely with President Embalo to carry it on to the next level of fruitful cooperation and partnership.
Permitting me to conclude by expressing my profound gratitude to you, the government and the good people of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau for being a good host to Nigerians resident here in your country. Colonial boundaries will never break the bond of kinship that binds us.
And as a mark of appreciation for his enormous contributions to peace, stability, security and democratic enterprise in Guinea-Bissau, the government named a major road in the capital city after the Nigerian leader. President Buhari formally inaugurated the road before returning to Abuja. In Guinea-Bissau, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And back home, the federal government has unveiled events lined up to commemorate Nigeria's 60th anniversary at a media briefing in Abuja. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed disclosed that the celebration will last through to 30th of September next year. Anthony Forson reports.
Flanked by the Ministers of Communication and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, and that of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, Lai Mohammed said the 60th independence celebration, which will be low-keyed, begins with a public lecture on Friday, 25th at 10 o'clock in the morning and will be followed with a special Jumat prayers at the National Mosque. On Sunday, 27th, there will be an interdenominational church service at the National Christian Center, Abuja, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Members of the public, the minister said, can join the church service virtually by logging on to the YouTube channel at OFFICIAL OSGFN. On Monday, 28 September by 10 o'clock in the morning, there will be the launch of the National Ethics and Integrity Award by President Muhammadu Buhari to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the ICPC at the State House. There will also be a historical exhibition Sunday by 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the National Press Center, Radio House, Abuja. On Thursday, October 1st, there will be the presidential broadcast from the presidential villa, and later at 10 o'clock, there will be the Guard of Honor and anniversary parade at the Eagle Square.
The 60th Independence Anniversary celebration will be low-key, as Mr. President has already announced. Of course, this is not unconnected with the COVID-19 global pandemic, which has forced some safety protocols on nations around the world. Therefore, the pomp and pageantry that should have marked the celebration will be largely missing.
The theme for the celebration is Together, and for the minister, the theme is apt: Nigeria having survived a civil war, years of political crisis, daunting security challenges, including religious and ethnic crises.
The age of 60 is seen as the beginning of a new cycle of life, and it's usually well marked. For Nigeria as a country, the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari offers a new beginning. The administration is working assiduously to build a new Nigeria, laying the building blocks for industrial and technological development by building massive infrastructures in the areas of power, roads, bridges, rail, etc.
To this end, the minister disclosed that some events that will come up in the course of the year will be announced as the year unfolds. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Into bilateral matters, Nigeria and the People's Republic of Bangladesh have pledged greater cooperation in the area of agriculture towards attaining food sufficiency for their growing population. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, stated this after receiving outgoing High Commissioner of Bangladesh to Nigeria. Mitari Ikme reports.
Diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Bangladesh span over 4 decades with shared interests in trade and investment, agriculture, tourism, military training, among other areas of cooperation. Both countries are major contributors to the United Nations peacekeeping operations, and they belong to the Commonwealth, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Developing 8 Countries, and the Non-Aligned Movement. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says Nigeria-Bangladeshi relations have been flourishing, and the Bangladeshi High Commissioner to Nigeria, Shamim Hassan, agrees there is room for greater cooperation.
Bangladesh is a country of 165 million people, but is self-sufficient in food. I believe the continued efforts of establishing some bilateral relationships in terms of signing of different forms of MOU that will help us explore much more of this relationship.
We also discussed about some issues about possible areas of cooperation where both countries can collaborate and can benefit mutually.
As the Bangladeshi envoy leaves for his next assignment in Italy, he is optimistic that his successor will build on the existing ties between Nigeria and Bangladesh. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, is leading other government representatives to dialogue with organized labor over an impending industrial action scheduled for the 28th of September by trade unions. The expanded bilateral meeting is to review the issues of modulation in petroleum price and the hike in electricity tariff. Both parties are fully represented to resolve the issues to avoid anything that would lead to the collapse of the economy. Into health-related matters, the Minister of Health, Dr. Osagie Hanire, is therefore seeking the cooperation between academia, industry, public and private institutions to produce quality snake bite treatment to reduce the frightening statistics. While describing as unfortunate that Nigeria is ranked among the world's worst snake bite-affected countries, the minister noted that the ministry is partnering with the EduTap study group to produce locally anti-snake venom required for the country.
5 million people are estimated to be beaten by snakes around the world every year.
Nigeria joined in marking the 2020 International Snake Bite Day with the theme Ensuring Safe and Effective Treatment. Now, joining us in the studio to give more insight into the effort to find antivenom in Nigeria is the coordinator, ECHITAP Study Group, Nigeria and UK, Professor Abdulsalam Nasidi. Prof, it's nice to have you in our studio.
Thank you. Nice to have me.
All right, what can you tell us about snake bite as a public health problem and Nigeria's peculiarity?
Well, unfortunately, snake bite is the world's biggest health crisis that was hitherto ignored, and more than almost 5.5 million bites are recorded yearly and worldwide, and in Africa, almost 1.5 million cases are happening. Almost 30% of these cases are occurring in Nigeria, meaning almost about 380,000 bites per annum. And out of these bites, 50% of them are venomous. And we have the most venomous snakes that are causing these, disabilities and deaths. That includes the carpet viper, the cobra, and then the puff adders. Today, the Honorable Minister of Health listed about 17 states that are at highest risk, and they expand right from the northeast to the middle belt, north central up to southwest and southeast. So it's as if the area affected is expanding.
All right, can you give us insight into the ECHITAP project and its existence in the country?
Yeah, the ECHITAP study group was established right from the time of Professor Ransom Kuti, when we realized that during rainy seasons, areas like Kaltungo, Zamko in Plateau states, Shaki in the north and the southwest, etc. So many areas like that, have increased cases of deaths from hemorrhage, and initially they were thinking they were actually hemorrhagic fevers like Lassa and others, but when we investigated, we found out they are due to snakes that run away from their hosts due to heavy rains, enter people's home and bite them to give them these complications. So seeing that this was a huge problem, we formed ourselves into a ECHITAP study group made of Nigerian scientists and UK scientists, and the result of this cooperation is the development of highly effective 2 antivenoms. One mono-specific, which is against just the carpet viper, which is responsible for about 90% of all the bites in Nigeria, and also responsible for 60% of the deaths. So we got this antivenom, then we moved on to do a polyspecific antivenom, which is against most venomous snakes in Nigeria. So we now have 2 wonderful products that are highly specific, and I'm very happy to know that the government is now, really supporting our group to establish this, to the production of this, local production of these 2 important products for the country.
All right, Prof, how would you describe the federal government's renewed impetus on the project, and what are your expectations?
The what? Can you come again?
How would you describe the federal government's renewed impetus on the project, and what are your expectations?
Oh no, we are so happy and to see the new support we are receiving from the federal government, right from the Federal Minister of Health, Federal Minister of Industries, and the stakeholders, states that are affected, to see that we are putting in place this local production, because the big farmers are not very interested in producing these products, since they are just for the poor. The most affected are the farmers, herders, and most cases school children and women going to the farm. So but these are the groups that don't have huge money to buy these products. So the Nigerian government now is even pushing us and supporting us. Today, the Honorable Minister of Health openly declared that they are going to support the ECHITAP study group to get these products out. We are working with the Ministry of Industries also to make sure that we achieve this objective within the shortest period.
Okay. All right, Professor Abdusalam, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for enlightening us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Moving on to electoral matters, as Ondo State enters the last 2 critical weeks in the build-up to the governorship election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, wants the media to emphasize the message of peace and aid in voter education. These were part of issues raised at a media parley with INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu in Akure, Ondo State. Doris Olumoko is standing by with details.
The media remains a critical stakeholder in the process of election, and therefore there is the need for continuous flow of information between the media and INEC. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu wants journalists to report any form of electoral malpractice, and while on the part of the Commission, he promises that INEC will continue to remain neutral.
Will remain professional, and that nothing but the votes cast by the Ondo people will determine who becomes the next governor of Ondo State.
As journalists, we have roles to play to ensure that we expose people who want to buy votes on the election day.
Other issues raised at the media parley include issues that have to do with the security of journalists while on election duty, and INEC promises to tackle that.
The input that we receive from you, from the field, is very important in order to enable us to respond to challenges as they arise during elections, and then the kind of lessons that we learn from one election to another.
And for the members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm that is talking about journalists, they are promising that the Ondo State governorship election will be covered objectively with the ethics of the profession upheld. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
Now, beyond articulating electoral manifestos, the APC National Executive Council Integrity Group says implementing those promises is a must for public office holders. This is the basis for the recommendation of the National Directorate of Employment for executing the job creation component of the APC manifesto. Onengie Fineface tells us more.
After what they consider a critical assessment of the implementation of the APC electoral manifesto in the last general elections, members of the APC Non-National Working Committee National Executive Council Integrity Group scored the National Directorate of Employment high. Now, this is informed by what the group describes as effective implementation of programs to actualize the vision of the president to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
Which we are praying other agencies to follow this and do what you are doing to protect the interest and image of the party. And we appreciate you for all the good projects you are initiating to support this government and to support Nigerian people, more especially your initiative of 774.
We believe whatever we give to you, definitely it will get to the grassroots. And we believe if we are able to take care of the periphery, the grassroots, it's very easy for us to control the center as far as the issue of poverty and lack of employment is concerned.
In addition to appreciating the group for the favorable assessment, the DG, National Directorate of Employment, sees the pat on his shoulder as encouragement for him to do more in promoting job creation through skills development in Nigeria. In Abuja, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. Time now to take a break. More reports ahead. Thanks for staying with NTA International. Now to the judiciary, the Court of Appeal Abuja Division has reserved judgment in the appeal filed by the Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri challenging the judgment of the Governorship Election Tribunal, which voided his election. Austin Ayebe has details of the proceedings.
The appellant, Governor Doye Diri, through his counsel, Chris Uche, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, told a panel of 5 justices presiding over the appeal to allow the appeal and set aside the majority judgment of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. Highlighting some of the points of argument contained in his written address, counsel to the governor contends that it was not the contest that disqualified the candidate of the Advanced Nigeria People's Party, but ab initio, constitutionally not qualified to contest. He stressed that the candidate did not show any cogent reason for the contest, as he even filed a petition about 4 months after the election instead of 21 days provided in the Electoral Act. But counsel to the respondent, Kehinde Ogogumiju, maintained that exclusion is an election matter, not pre-election, as being canvassed by the appellant, adding that qualification is different from exclusion. He urged the court to uphold the judgment of the lower tribunal, and the court also heard the appeals filed by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the People's Democratic Party, challenging the verdict of the tribunal, which they said was passed in error. With the adoption of brief of arguments and written addresses by counsel involved in the case, the stage is now set for delivering judgments, on which the court has ruled that the date of judgment shall be communicated to parties concerned. In Abuja, Austin Ayebe, NTA News.
Israel tightens second nationwide lockdown following a surge in coronavirus infections, just as Poland and the Netherlands report sharp rise in new cases. Joyce Ometu has an update on the pandemic.
As coronavirus lockdown measures around the world are gradually lifted, many countries are witnessing spikes in the number of new cases, prompting a reintroduction of new measures. Israel on Thursday tightened its second nationwide coronavirus lockdown after the country's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu raised alarm that a surge in infections was pushing the nation to the edge of the abyss. The move came after the daily number of new cases exceeded 8,000. Similarly, Poland has been hit by an increase in coronavirus cases after the country lifted its restrictions. On Thursday, the country reported 1,136 new COVID-19 infections, the highest daily number since March. Reports say the southeast of the country is worst hit. Meanwhile, the number of new coronavirus cases in the Netherlands has hit a daily record of 2,544 on Thursday. New COVID-19 cases in the country have reached record levels almost every day for 2 weeks. And statistics by Worldometer collated at 6 p.m. local time reveal that the coronavirus pandemic has killed 983,610 people globally and infected 32,197,276. Of these numbers, Africa has recorded 1,438,152 cases and 34,597 fatalities. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control disclosed in its daily briefing that 149 COVID-19 patients were discharged on Wednesday after being treated, while 2 new fatalities were unfortunately recorded. So far, Nigeria has 57,724 cases of the virus, 48,985 patients discharged, with 1,102 deaths recorded. And that's it from here. I am Joyce Ometu.
Thank you, Joyce. Now, no society is considered balanced if women are hindered from mainstreaming across all sectors of the economy. Minister of Women Affairs Pauline Tallen said this at the African Union Agenda 2063 Ambassadorial Assembly in Abuja. Adebola Brookston Sunday was there.
At some points, men dominated and took charge of governance and other leadership roles. Following agitations over time, all that's changed. Some women that have been entrusted with positions of authority in public and private sectors displayed traits of better and thoroughbred leaders.
Women not coming up to participate.
At this roundtable by the African Union Agenda 2063 Ambassadorial Assembly, participants' advocacy centered on gender mainstreaming, which they say is key to achieving sustainable development in Africa.
For side by side ensuring equality.
Minister of Women Affairs Pauline Tallen, who applauded President Muhammadu Buhari for inclusion of more women, expressed some concerns.
Especially important to address social and economic challenges that affects women, including health, quality education, water and sanitation, jobs, access to finance and technology, from forced displacement to sexual and gender-based violence, to growing recruitment and abduction by terrorists.
We must do more to empower our women, because functional and sustainable empowerment of women serves as a propeller that accelerates growth and global development.
Review the Constitution and have women's role pronounced, and not just having them pronounced, have them implemented.
Other women rights activists joined the meeting virtually.
It's very important for education to be free and compulsory, and skill acquisition should also be mandatory.
We just need to be portrayed as a woman, as a professional academician, a businesswoman in their own right.
Agenda 2063 targets a people-centered development plan that will be driven by Africans, especially women and youths. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
From 1st of October this year, a Nigerian lottery game will hit the screen. This was disclosed by the Director General, National Lottery Regulatory Commission, Larry Gbajabiamila, during a courtesy visit to the headquarters of the Nigerian Television Authority. Lottery, a form of game that involves the drawing of numbers at random for a prize, no doubt is the order of the day in many countries, with the sports sector taking the lead. For players to have confidence in lotto games, the National Lottery Regulatory Commission, saddled with the responsibility to ensure accurate monitoring and assessment of proceeds accruing to operators to determine the prize money, is seeking partnership with the NTA to create awareness on the Niger national game, steaming in the pipeline.
Because of the transparency of this particular game, we have to be able to televise the draws on a weekly basis in the short span of about 2 to 3 minutes max.
The Director General of the NTA, who assured the Commission of his organization's support, noted that creating a fair and transparent platform for players will go a long way in restoring trust and by extension create wealth for the lottery sector.
To be careful, yes, some of services attract costs, but costs shouldn't be an impediment, to our working together as a team. We will give you discounts where we have to.
The game is expected to come up every Saturday on NTA in Abuja. And that ends the news at this hour on NTA International. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Don't forget to be a star. Stand against rape and rapists.